Hey everyone, how are you? We are officially starting a brand new unit today with this video. It is the start of week 7 of us not being in school and the start of the 4th week of distance learning. So we did one unit, unit 8, all on the European Middle Ages, and now we'll be doing our last unit, which is unit 9. It's called A Bridge to Modern Society. So this unit is a little different than other units that we've done. There are 4 sections throughout the unit: the Renaissance, the Reformation, the Scientific Revolution, and then the Age of Exploration. So we are going to split the next few weeks of our unit into these different parts. So these next 2 weeks will be focused on the Renaissance. And then after that, from May 11th through May 22nd, we'll be focused on the Reformation. And then from May 26th, because May 25th is Memorial Day, so from the 26th to the 29th, we'll focus on the Scientific Revolution. And then from the 1st of June until the 12th of June, we will focus on the Age of Exploration. And that will pretty much bring us to the very end and give us a few days just to wrap up everything we've done and officially launch you out of freshman year and into being sophomores. So the way that this is going to work is that you are only going to have 2 videos and 2 assignments for each week over the upcoming weeks. So you won't be doing 3 assignments a week anymore. And sometimes you may even only have 1 assignment, just depending on what exactly it is and where exactly we are. But some of those assignments may be a little bit more in depth. So expect to be spending about the same amount of time on the work, but you will have less assignments than you've been getting. So we are going to start today. I'm going to share my screen with you. We're actually not doing a PowerPoint in this video. Instead, taking a walk, just an overview through the Bridge to Modern Society, highlighting each of those 4 areas that I mentioned, and really looking at what caused the Renaissance, which then launched those other 3 major events. So take a walk with me here. I'm going to share my screen with you. Minimize myself, of course, up at the top. All right. So we are taking a look at this. This would have been what I handed you in class on the very first day of our Unit 9 beginning. This is your intro sheet to Bridge to Modern Society. You can read along with me here if you'd like. Late in the European Middle Ages, a long period of wars, epidemics, the plague, like the 100 Years' War, and economic upheaval, the end of feudalism, finally came to an end. A new spirit of optimism, confidence, and creativity took hold. These developments led to the start of a remarkable period that has become known as the Renaissance. The Renaissance brought to Europe a way of thinking quite different from that of the Middle Ages. Another kind of change from those medieval times came as religious thinkers challenged the authority of the church. Known as Protestants, these thinkers began the Reformation. The Renaissance inspired a spirit of curiosity in many fields. In science, as in the arts and the humanities, people began to question the ideas that had been accepted for hundreds of years. New scientific theories and discoveries led to changes so great that historians speak of a scientific revolution during the 1500s and 1600s. Finally, the spirit of curiosity led to further endeavors in exploration. The Age of Exploration led many nations to begin to compete with one another to establish colonies and expand their empires around the world. To specifically define these, I am going to type here, put it in a nice bright color for us. Should we do a red? Let's do a bright blue, a nice Quincy High bright blue. The Renaissance, well, that's not very dark. Let's make that a little darker. There we go. All right, the Renaissance means cultural rebirth, and it occurs in Europe from the 14th to the 17th centuries. The Reformation was a 16th century movement in Europe to reform the Catholic Church, and it led to a separation in the Roman Catholic Church. I should say a separation from the Roman Catholic Church. The scientific revolution is where we see the emergence of modern science. And this occurs in the late 16th and 17th centuries. And finally, the age of exploration, which I know will be one of your favorite sections of this unit that we study. The European explorers during this time reached new heights in exploration of what to them was the New World in the 15th to 17th centuries. So these 4 pieces of the bridge to modern society bring us out of those medieval times and into what we know as and believe to be the modern world. So to begin our study of the Renaissance, there are 6 main reasons that the Renaissance occurred throughout Europe. And they are: 1, increase in trade; 2, the growth of cities. So trade increased, people started trading on a wider scale, and cities started to grow. They started to get bigger. More people moved to cities. We also at this point see a renewed interest in classical learning of the ideas of the Greeks and the Romans. We see people known as patrons funding the arts. Patrons are supporters of the arts. We also see an increased drive for scientific advances. People have a desire to advance scientifically. And last but very much not least, there is a renewed interest in worldly affairs, on being focused outside of just your own country or even your own town or city. We start to see people broaden their interest in worldly affairs, caring about more than just what is right outside their front door, caring about those who live around them, whether they're neighbors, people in towns near them, and even further out to the rest of a country, a continent, and the world at large. Please, let's keep these ideas in mind as we move through and start to study the Renaissance and our bridge to modern society.